you have to fight people in life. You have to exert dominance, because that's how who we are as human beings. We're not separate from the rest of nature, you know. And warfare is exactly that. It's a lethal game of dominance. And you know, this the era that we're in, all things considered, is a dominance fight between high status people, you know, threat displays and so on and so forth, weaponized art. Because this is, I'm going to put this into the history of propaganda, you know, because it's, as I've established before in writing this series and reasoning my way through this, with the education and the writings that I've done and thought exercises I've done through philosophy and my failures, and all the information I've digested through my life, you know, and there's a lot of people out there that will never ever give me the credit that I deserve. They won't. They will never recognize me. They will discredit me at every turn just to maintain their position in life. But the truth is, all I got to do is outlive you. And I will. I will outlive you. Right? And I'm looking at this, you know, and I have a lot of concerns, especially, you know, with, say, stealth technology, with missiles, the incumbent lasers and microwave, so non-kinetic weapon systems, and so EWS, right? So electronic warfare, energy weapon systems, and looking at this drone technology, the swarming technology, with the F-35, and this fight to replace pilots in the cockpit, right? Because pilots are stupid, right? Pilots are stupid. Pilots are stupid. Right, and then I'm looking at this article. It came out from the Drive, the War Zone. You know, this is a good resource, and I've been reading it for quite a while. But I want to go about this in a diplomatic way as possible, because I know there's people that make a huge amount of money off of the Air Force and off of the Army and off of the Navy and off of the Marines, off of the Canadian Forces. And they make a huge amount of money. Huge. It's absolutely huge. You know? And they don't want to hear me as an aircraft mechanic who's broken out of work, so obviously I'm fucking stupid. Right? Obviously I'm fucking stupid. But I got some points here. I just thought about this as I went for my walk. You know, when egos prevail, systems fail. You can't escape psychology, because the weakest part of any system is the human being. But a human being is the one that creates the AI technology and creates the program, and we're the ones, even with the tools, the technology, that you know, put the piece of metal into the CNC machine. We're the ones that load it. Everything else, it all requires human interaction. And that AI and drone technology is not a replacement for humanity. It isn't. Right? The smartest person in the room is the quietest. Now, I think about stuff like, if you know about the flipper fob, right? That's a very powerful tool. You know, it has a huge amount of capability, and in the right hands, it's a lethal weapon. So if a flipper fob or a microwave can nuke an electronic system, then the whole network fails. And I was just mentioning AI and the propaganda behind it is not a replacement for humanity due to the inherent cognitive biases of the programmers and company managers. Organizational structure is the basis of all accidents and incidents. And there's no replacement for face-to-face interaction or intervention. When batteries fail, bullets don't. When guns jam, knives don't. Now, aviation technology hasn't really changed in 50 to 60 years. That's why the B-52 is still being used, or rocket boosters are still the same technology. It's still the same philosophy and system designs, right? Hence why I'm wearing this Curtis shirt from the 1970s. Okay, electronic warfare only works when there's physical hard drives and not SSDs, because like the hardening and the insulation, you can still nuke that. You can still burn right through it. You can still get in through the back door. You can overload it. You can overload the capacitors. You can cut the wires. You can take down the towers. There's always a vulnerability to be considered here. Airborne lasers are not mature enough to nuke a missile reliably. Now, I could be wrong about this. I could. But, considering the last demonstration that was the airborne laser that was on the 747 platform all those years ago, there's a lesson to be learned from that. Because if there's no fuel, this is the way the battlefield goes. If you don't have logistics in place, if you don't have the people, and you don't have the will to fight, then there's no fucking point. When the power grid fails, so do the 5th generation fighters and swarming drones, because you need electricity. Simulators and augmented reality don't replace life experience and sound judgment. They don't, And micromanaging is the worst leadership style. It's the worst. Absolute fucking worst. And the military and a lot of these defense contractors are guilty of that. Absolutely, 100% guilty of that. And like I said, the Wright brothers were bicycle mechanics. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, fucking stupid. Simplicity is best when considering the challenges of any kind of warfare. There's no replacement for tactics. There's none. Absolutely none. It is so easy to occlude and mask against infrared. It is so fucking easy. You can fool an AI, facial recognition technology, and the recognition technology used to identify people in crowds with the gait of their pacings and their body language and so on and so forth. It's so easy to fool if you know what you're doing. If it ain't broke, like I said, spacecraft. 9, it's a capsule. Completely automated. You monkeys are fucking stupid. Get in the craft and go for a ride. You are disposable. You see this dominance fight. And you know what? You can dodge a missile. You can dodge a missile in warfare. It's easy. It's not easy, but it's not difficult either. I fucking hate pilots. They're uncontrollable. They're better with women than I am. They keep fucking up my baby. I have no children because I'm a socially inept engineer, psycho salesman, and they keep sniffing me out. Wah! That's it. Seriously. Drones follow orders. I'm a narcissistic psycho, and I hate when people confront me with my flaws. Wah! Narcissistic injury. Watch me rip your head off and shit down your neck. No plan or technology survives the first 5 minutes of battle. The lesson to be learned is from the stealth fighter in Bosnia that got shot down. Because someone out there on the other end is going to figure that out and find the flaw. It's one of the things you learn when you play chess or any kind of team sports, right? You say you're a quarterback or you're a fullback or you're a coach on a football team. You can see the entire playing field. You understand what's going on. Right, and if you know the patterns, and you know the psychology of people, then you can break them down. Tailless fighters are fucking stupid. They are. And the same with tailless drones. They're fucking stupid. Because they reduce redundancy and they increase complication with the software. And, the thing is that electronic circuitry, no matter what, you have, the Moore's law, right? We're reaching a point where even quantum computing has a limitation. And you can't do away with semiconductors, right? With the silicone and gold are based semiconductors. You can't replace it because there's no replacing physical reality. Okay? This is the lesson to be learned of all these people that have this detachment from reality that we're suffering because of other principles and other lessons and observations that I've communicated through the history of propaganda. You can call back a pilot, but you can't call back a hijacked drone with a worm in its hardware or its software. You think everybody in your company is reliable? You think everyone within your organization or your Air Force or your Army or your Navy or your Marine Force or even your departments of defense, your Pentagon, are uncorruptible? It doesn't take very much to get someone angry and to win them over. Loyalty is so hard to earn, like respect, and so easy to lose. See, Bomark missiles didn't replace interceptors or cruise missiles. They didn't. Okay? Look what happened. Canada still ended up buying the Voodoo. We still needed a fighter in the air because the usage of the Bomark missile was such a specific and specialist opportunity. Missiles, like in the Vietnam era, like this whole idea, this is the same, history repeats itself. The drone technology is the same as a missile. Okay? That in that era, they thought, oh, dogfighting is over. We're just going to launch missiles from like 10 kilometers away. You'll never see it happen. Because they'll be hypersonic and they won't fail. They won't be influenced by the environment. Rubber seals fail. There's this lesson to be learned from Challenger, that the flaw, right, in the system will always present itself at the worst opportunity. Missiles don't replace guns or dogfighting. Okay, and this is going back to, the stealth fighter, right? Stealth technology is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It really is. Because of the radar, right? If you can't see the signature, then you see the shadow. And if you can see the shadow where there's a blank space, then you know there's something wrong. And even with noise in the background, an adept technician can figure it out. When a drone is taken out of action, it's even more liability than when a soldier gets wounded. A soldier can be mended far easier and transported out of the battlefield than a drone on the battlefield. They augment, they get their force multiplier. Like some of this concept of the technology is correct, but it becomes a liability. Like I got something to say about this. What did we learn from the Aardvark or the Bradley? Okay, I'm gonna ignore the dog for a moment here. So what I gotta say is not gonna be very kind, it's very nice. Come on in. And I don't care what you think, right? I don't care if I lose a job opportunity out of this. It needs to be said. Because if I'm going to defend the people on the grounds, and I'm going to defend the people in the cockpit, and I'm going to defend the people that are in the ranks, even senior officers, because they get the wool pulled over their eyes all the time. Right? You're all fucking stupid. Discredit me if you want. Call me a mentally unstable, paranoid, schizoid, delusional, without authority, a failure in the industry, a burnout never has been, a stupid Dudley Do-Right Boy Scout Air Cadet cocksucker. But it only proves that I'm correct in the majority of my observations, knowledge, and life experiences. It proves the size of your ego and your psychopathy. So suck on my dick, you fucking donut punchers. There's no replacement for intelligence. Figure it out. Thanks for watching. This has been the History of Propaganda. Swarming technology.